So, you know, it's just an honor and a pleasure to have her in the house. Annette Vogel.
Thank you.
Yeah, respect for really passing through and to really have a reason with I and I. And one of the beautiful things about our vibration is that when I met you through social media and may I look on your artwork, you know, the visual artwork, and how you used to use like art to really convey a language. So immediately I said to you, one of them day me go write a book, you know. And when me write this book, I want you to, you know, submit or contribute a piece of your artwork. And never even met you in person. You know, see, so this is like a fulfillment. This is called like destiny. And, you know, Annette Vogel, you know, has submitted one of her artwork, so you can show them the artwork and talk about it, you know, in certain ways.
Yes. The artwork I contributed with is this one called Meditation, one here. And that one is actually a very colorful painting. And it's inspired by a mask I have often met in my dreams, especially in a period of time of my life. And that mask used to dance in front of me and talk to me, and a whole heap of things, a whole lot of teachings in it. So also I meditate a lot myself, and through that I've been more and more aligned to things that I'm supposed to do in this lifetime. So the painting is special in that way, that it expresses that feeling and journey I've been going through myself, but also like an inspiration for other people to meditate. Meditate and create more, actually.
So how did we came upon this selection?
Yeah, you actually choose it because you've been inspired also by a whole lot of my tree paintings, because I do so many artworks with trees being part of the image. And I think in the beginning, before you completed what you wanted to have in your book, you fall in love a little bit with the tree bending in the wind, with white flowers blowing in the air.
Yes, I remember,
Yes. And that one kind of, you journey into it, because there's a whole lot of cyclic formations and energy in it. But then your book kind of manifested as the whole result later. And that time was more for that meditation vibration, actually.
Yeah, because even one time when I checked, you know, because I was working off a budget, so the paintings, most of the paintings, they are color paintings, right?
Yes.
So when my organizer told me, oh, Rasatiba, you know, the color is gonna cost so much, you know, when I had to convey this message, you know, to all of the persons who submitted their artwork, I thought about it, you know, and I gave it good, and then I said to myself, listen to me. You see, this is not about even the color. It's about the whole artwork and the contribution and the emphasis we put on the work.
Yeah.
So, you know, say, when somebody even look on it on different stages, then we go right back to the original. All right. So, you know, when we see this book come alive with your artwork, your contribution, and tonight you're here with I and I, you know, Brooklyn, NYC, in the house, we really talk about it. it's like we must give thanks again, you know, see it for your support that you have shown I and I personally by even doing a video and even reciting one of I and I poem, which is a special, you know, love poem.
Yeah.
You understand me? So it's like when we get them support there, on a certain level, all we have to say to ourselves, give thanks for the blessings and the angels that Jah put in our, you know, amongst us. So it's like, as we say, my book now have other, you know, visual artists. We have people from Panama, we have people from the USA,
Australia?
and we have people from Australia, you know. So it's like we try to use, you know, art and culture to create bridges. So, and Annette Vogel, where you from?
Yeah, I'm from Denmark.
We're in Denmark.
Well, in this lifetime, I'm from Denmark. I was born in Roskilde, actually a little bit outside Roskilde. Roskilde is the town of a whole lot of ancient things in Denmark, like 30 kilometers from the capital, Copenhagen, where I live now. So I grew up in the countryside, always been very connected to nature and climbing trees and picking berries in the garden and planting carrots and all these things. But then as a teenager it became kind of too small for me. So I moved to Copenhagen, which is the capital in Denmark,
Yes.
early,
Yeah.
when I was 19, having my own place to live.
Yes.
And working, that time I was working with stones and crystals, because that's another part of the frequency I'm connected with, you know. And I done that for many, many years and still do. But at that time I was working very serious with that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you teach?
Yeah,
teach,
yeah.
okay.
Then I started educating myself as a teacher, and that was in my 20s. So I've been teaching in like what we call ordinary school, you know,
Okay.
primary and secondary school. It's called in Danish folkeskole. Our educational so-called system is a bit different than what you have here. But now I'm teaching international adults, teaching Danish most of the time, and that's very beautiful because we like from all over the planet in one room there. China and different places in Europe and Iraq, Iran and Syria, different African countries represented at the same time. That's very nice.
Yeah, that really sounds like a beautiful, you know, vibration.
It is.
So tell us something about the project you are working on in New York.
This weekend why I'm here is because we're having a big reception at the gallery that is showing artworks from different artists all over the world, represented in a project called the Art Box Project.
Yes.
And that is a gallery in Chelsea where everything is shown, and I have two of my works represented. One is called Energy, spelled like inner, energy, like inner chi.
Yes.
It looks like a glimpse of the universe, that painting.
So how did you get involved with this?
Yeah, I
project?
actually heard about it from a Jamaican painter I know. To share and care, you know, that is a bridge building to greater understanding. And since we people from different parts of the world, and it's shown also in another part of the world than where I live usually, is a great way of expanding the network as meant to be, you know.
So what inspired you to start painting?
Yeah, that is actually, it's like it has been there all through my life, because I've been always carrying a frequency of some universal language, and that has come through in different ways. It has manifested first in, like when I was very, very young, I was suddenly very interested in astrology without really knowing anybody teaching me or talking with me about it. So I just studied it myself, and I realized it's like I already have an understanding of it from the beginning, you know.
So you had any formal training like in visual art?
Yeah, I have. And I realized when I was creating symbols and playing with colors, like just in my own little world, I realized that I kind of feel something special about each color. That is not only for me, but something that can be of purpose for other people too. So creating my artworks is a way of expressing something, like in a way that I can't say in any other way. It's exactly that expression in each artwork. I wouldn't be able to do it as a poem or play it on flute or anything else, you know?
It's like I just love speaking with artists, believe me. But you see, the beautiful thing is like we have this unique way of communicating. Sometimes I feel what you're saying.
Yes.
You know, see. So I know other people out there is definitely feeling what we're saying. You know, and other vibration there, because we do our art from the heart. You know, yes. So when we do a poem or we do a painting, it definitely speaks. So
I think like composing a piece of music, creating a nice tune is the same process, you know?
So, well, I am in my mellow stages right now. Even some of your artwork is like the one that use like plants to describe emotions, and they start up maybe as plant and end up like maybe a human or a animal or something like. So
that, because to me nature is the answer somehow. Love and nature and the universe and music, that is what inspires me all the time, because nature knows everything. And no matter how we try to control or destroy or even heal, it has its own process and its own cycle of everything. And if we look at nature, there's so much we can learn, actually.
Where would I say you get your style from then? Where you get your style?
From the universe, from the Almighty, through my heart, really. That's how I feel it. I feel like being an instrument when I create something.
Wow. That is beautiful.
That's how I feel. A great inspiration of a feel to do it, you know?
So you have any special time that you love to paint you throughout the day?
All the time. Sometimes I was like, well, I'm actually just waiting to come home so that I can have time to create. Yeah. So I did that.
And to be involved in so much things, and you're a mother also, right?
Yes, I'm a mother of two beautiful sons.
Awesome.
But I've always had a lot of energy. When I was young, I was doing sports every day, and if I was not doing sports, I was playing flute, because that kind of like what you can do in the countryside. So I was missing that more cultural and creative vibration.
Yeah,
yes.
That frequency was. Yes.
Indeed, and that's what I've been connecting through. As a child, I was connecting through nature a lot. I still do that, but that was what was available a lot at that time, you know.
Because what has, been happening to me, like I'm trying to reconnect as far as I can go into my childhood.
Yes.
And then pull out those great moments and, revisit them. And because even some of my sketches, I used to do this stuff when I was going to primary school, and I said to myself, may I go revisit my ancestors, my angels them, and make them tapping. But yes, with a little observation again, deaf. We take a little pointer from you, a pointer from there, a pointer,
Yes.
and all that, you know. But definitely, that is so the art work definitely go. And one of the beautiful thing, you know, is like sometimes I watch your artwork and like you don't move from one mindset to the next mindset.
Yes.
Maybe if you have to paint some car, you might paint car for 3 months and then you move and go and paint plane. You understand me? So what that really, what we are trying to say during the passage of time, because as an observer, may I observe your art as you grow and
Yeah.
as you travel. So me can say, okay, them set of art I was done in from March to that month, that one can do from that month to that month.
Or
I want
that year.
That year, you
Yes,
see.
yes.
Okay. So you do them thing on purpose or what?
No, it happens on its own with the inspirations coming through, you know. But I have, because I've been thinking about that myself.
I see a pattern.
understand.
I see that pattern, you know, see.
Yes.
So one of it is intentional, I just happen based
No.
upon a flow.
What is intentional is sometimes the techniques I'm using, because I can kind of get very connected to, now I find this technique interesting, or I feel like oil painting, or I feel like acrylics, or I feel like painting with a palette knife instead of brush, for example. So that itself can now take me into some vibration.
So
But it's not like I kind of tell myself, now you're doing palette knife this period. No, it's inspiration again.
So me know you talk about, you know, because me I talk about that feeling, like
Yes.
even sometimes like me use inspiration for write.
Exactly.
So I've gotten a few inspiration recently, and I need to formalize them, you know, see,
Yes.
and put them little and brush them off. So yeah, man, me really observe that about your
Yeah.
work. As an artist now, I know say you have upcoming artists and you have young artists out there listening to you. So as a young artist now, who would I like to start out, like how you start out, reach the levels where you reach now that you have your work and these great exhibits. Tell me how them can achieve all them goals as a young artist that come up and I like to be like in a your position. What do I have to tell them?
Yeah, one thing that I think is very needed to connect with is discipline
Okay.
and hard work. Hard work in the sense of, to me, it's still a joy.
Yes.
All the time, every stroke is a joy. But when I count the hours I have spent with my creating and my artworks, it's a whole lot of work actually, you know, because it's not like 2 minutes all the time. So being true to oneself and not trying to please others, but let the inspiration come through and create what is meant to be, rather than creating something that you think people want. You have to really do something.
So you know, me steering, me love to talk about the profitability of something, meaning financially. Okay, I know you're a spiritual person, and I'm not going to go down that path, but it's like for the youth them out there now, where you are telling me, say, no, you cannot really do true art for profit then. That is it, right? You cannot do true art for profit, but if your art reach a point where it value that amount, you cannot resist that. Because like for you now, how many years you have paid now?
Well, the way I do now is like probably 8-9 years.
8-9 years.
Yeah.
So when did you feel confident enough to put your painting them in a these like exhibit? At what year in your career?
Like 7 years ago.
I want to ask your age because that is a personal thing for ladies, but they can give you a round in square then. So about 30 days you have paid her for
Well, we can say it like this. I was born in this lifetime in 1972.
You saw how long it takes for this artist to build up her confidence. You say, okay, I'm going to put my work in a certain exhibit. So as a true artist, it's like it's a lifetime commitment.
Mm-hmm.
You understand me? So it's like when you do this thing for the soul, for humanity, it's not about money. But you see, money...
It's okay to make money from your art.
For your art. But,
Yeah.
but the emphasis can't write this because it took me 50 years
Yes.
to write this book.
Yes.
I could have write a whole heap of book and talk about a whole heap of thing. But me never want to be phony, me never want to be far, me never want to be myself. I want when can me leave.
You know what? It's
Yeah.
like with everything we are doing in life, there's a way we know in ourselves is the right way to go with it. And then there's a way that is not really feeling all right.
Yes.
So when you're an artist and you work from inspiration, work with inspiration, you become an inspiration yourself, not probably so much personally, but more like what you're doing becomes an inspiration and sometimes a role model to other people. So you have to know what's going on.
All right. Very deep. So as an artist, how you think your art would influence present day, situations where the young youth them are faced, like even in my country, like you're familiar with my country, you've been there a couple of times, and the present place over there now, the United States, because recently we see the youth them are cry out because my whole thing is the youth them are our future. So we as adults have to, do things or say things through art or whatever. So how your art now can really help them youth in these crises where them are faced.
Well, in different ways. In one way to see the thing that everybody has his or her own talent. We all have talents. It might not be creating music or making artworks or writing a book, but we all have a special talent that we can use for ourselves and others. So that is what it should be an inspiration for. And then my art again is to some people part of a spiritual awakening at one level or the other,
Because you do like workshops in your community back home, right?
Yeah.
And your workshop would target like what been in the sector, the community, the seniors or the very young, or right across the board.
It's actually a whole lot of different people, because for many years people have also consulted me on their different issues in life, their own art projects or personal life, and that is usually adult people.
So it's like in my culture, me that said you sound like a spiritual woman. So in your culture, what do they call you?
The same.
The same thing.
Depending on who is speaking, some maybe find it very interesting or very deep or
deep. Yeah,
I think that would be more
deep.
That would be more the term to the deepness.
Like I want to say, oh shit, man.
Some people say clairvoyance, but I'm like, back to why I'm painting.
Yes.
There are certain things I cannot express with words the same way, Even though I also write poetry and I do talkings and teach and stuff, some things will come out better with the colors and forms of a painting, And some of my friends who create music, and also like when you're doing your dog poetry and stuff, comes in another way again.
But as an artist, I know that every painting has a story. So,
Yes.
so me now, yo, tell me the story behind that. Me not busy, they can't tell me, they don't paint it like that. But one know what is that teeth about.
Not all of them you can hear, but some. Some of them I would say that's actually true, and that's interesting because, like, for example, my dad that I'm very close to,
Yes.
he been some stuff which is heart, and to me the heart is more than the physical heart, you know. So in my artworks you can find now at least 3 or 4 artworks with a heart as part of it. And one of the ones that I'm showing, that sounds funny, one of the ones that is shown here is called Journey of the Heart, actually.
And I see, you see, the conversation, you inspire me to share something with you. All right. How me observe your work is like in a section. It's like when you just give me that story, then I think you must have these set of poems, document them story, and leave them. Refreshing stories, man, because people can really relate.
Yes.
You know, see, because as I say, somebody who know the language of art can really look on a painting and can say, okay, and you as the artist can say, you're on point, you're on point, you're on point. You ever find yourself in a situation like that? Somebody describe your painting.
I love
somebody,
when I open...
and somebody they say, I know you was talking about that shoes. And you say, hit it on the deal.
That
Yeah, man.
for one of my recent exhibitions in Denmark, when I opened the thing there, I actually told the guests that I love walking around with them and you know, absorb how they react to it, and what paintings talk to somebody and some paintings talk to another one. That's why I will say to, and that's with all kind of art, you cannot create art, in my opinion, and experience to please anyone. You should do it like from your heart frequency.
Because I think that art is therapeutic, and we can use art as medicine.
Indeed.
You know, see, because if you notice nowadays, all of the secrets them of healing through the natural way, people start to realize them now. So we are heal ourselves naturally. So whatever happen now, we have to use like emotions, values, you know, compassion in this time for communicate with people, because if you notice the devices where we have now, the smart this and the smart that, them can do so much. We can stay in our house and leave, and all of our business right around the world is taken care of right from this
Maybe
device.
our whole world is created like that.
But art no. Art is the sacred language of the soul.
Exactly.
You know, see it. So you're gonna find out say true artists definitely are gonna serve humanity in a true sense. So it's like this is a special moment for Brooklyn, a special moment for a Time Rush production, because as I say, we never planned this interview and it's such a beautiful thing for no say boy, the sister I passed through and say Rasati, but it is an honor to pass through and talk about the book live and direct, you know, see it, and you know, see it, you know, a manifestation of sub-bridges, you know, set up.
Because we have an important role, all of us, to play. So, yeah.
And we consider March, although International Women Month,
Oh, yes.
you know, see it, so it's nice to have someone, but I don't know, it's like how maybe Annette Vogel kick off the woman vibration at night. I think we can get some other ladies, you know, some icons, and bring them in and interview them and talk to them like I'm talk to and it make the people know say this is all about a time as production and the Sarabita art, roots and culture. But we said we draw no line and we not build no fence.
We build bridges.
We build bridges, a perfect love. You know,
Yeah.
so it's like, as me said, you don't know. We have a boss.
Maybe you could read one of your
Yeah,
poems.
yeah, man, me a boss one, man. Me a boss one. Me not go boss one. I go boss one. Visions of love. We made love in a vision. It lasted a long time, even for years. When we see each other, we don't know whether or not we will experience this in reality. We made love in a vision, hugging, kissing, and more. It felt so real, I didn't want to wake up, because if I do, this moment will end. So I closed my eyes tight, afraid to look at the reality that I might lose you in this vision of love. But you understand me? So, as me say, to
It's
ones and ones,
Great poem.
yes, and Annette Vogel, you know, with some of her artwork, complement those words. You understand me? With some of her artwork. We can find that video.
Yeah, that one is on my art page on Facebook. That one is called Vogel Artistic Creations,
Okay.
like my last name, with the spelled with the V, because it's from my dad,
Yes.
and it means in German and Dutch it means bird.
Right.
Yeah, so I love that. And your poem that I spoke together with some of the artworks is on that page. I also put it on YouTube. Yeah, I did put it on YouTube too.
Yeah, man,
So,
and it get a whole heap of feedback and
Yeah.
and that's how it go. And we say people,
all
not people, we living in, we sharing, make the world go round. And me say people, a kind of people, we living in, we sharing, make the world go round. As I stop to check out, come someone check in, as I stop to question, come someone ask Annette, why people protest? It is to prove their point. This is a democratic system and every man has his rights. So me say people, all kind of people we living in, we sharing, make the world go round. White people, black people, brown people, yellow people, orange people, green people, all kind of people we living in, we sharing, make the world go round. Some flying away off to the sky to make us believe they are looking for life. Is a plan them have fi control the sky, them spending billions a day while so many picnic life among people, all kind of people we're living in, sharing, make the world go round. So it was a pleasure having you, you know, in the Time Ras Production studio, and big up and wish you all the best in your endeavor. Go to tomorrow, network as much, make the net
work.
network.
for example.
I'm coming in there to work. Yes, I love your sense of you. I'm in the network, man. You see it. So, I know if I'm out on this journey, inspiration will come through visual art. And it's a pleasure and thank you.
Thank you for having me here.
Yes, and as we say, this is Rasa Tiba and this is Annette Vogel from Denmark. Perfect, love.